Hello, United. If we haven't met, my name is Logan, and I just am so happy to say that we are starting something new where we are going to be sharing the promises of God that He has for us. This isn't going to be a long video like how we have been doing, but it's just going to be a more condensed version where we just simply say like the things that God has for us, these promises He has. To start it off, the promise I'm starting with is actually the promise of God promising us things. But essentially the promise of God saying that He has given us everything that we need. We can forget this. This is something easy to forget because the world and all of its chaos and brokenness has this tendency to distract us from the goodness that He has already given us. We see ourselves as lacking because the world makes us see things that we don't actually need, but that we should want. And this is where the Bible comes in, and it says this in 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 4, that His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. Through these, He has given us His very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by evil desires. Now, this means that we do have everything we need. We do have everything that is required of us to have a good life, regardless of the circumstances or whatever we're born into or whatever choices we've made. We have everything we need to live a good life. And He has given us these promises so that we can participate in divine nature or a divine life, a good life full of peace, joy, love, and hope. And what it takes is us focusing on these promises, shifting our focus from everything going on in the world, everything that the world says we need, and focusing on what He says is good. And that includes ourselves. So we escape from the brokenness of this world. We escape from our evil desires by focusing on the good desires that God has for our lives. Because that's all we truly need. Now, this week, to sort of practice this promise, what I want you to do is anytime that you're feeling you're lacking, you're alone, or maybe you're not enough, I simply want you to take a step back, go into a space where you can be alone, not out of a sort of weird separation, but a space that you can just focus on God and the things that He says. Now, when you do this, I want you to maybe close your eyes, put out your hands, and say, God, you have given me enough. You have made me enough. And the life and love you provide for me is enough. And once you do this, I just want you to think like what is actually needed during this time and what is just something that you're desiring and something that isn't truly needed. And then if you want to talk about it with a leader. Talk about it with one of your peers. Like, we're all in this together and we have everything we need. It's just a matter of taking that step and realizing the things we actually need and the things that the world is telling us that we need. All right, everyone. Thank you, and I hope you are all having a fantastic week. See ya.